Mike Israetel may be addicted to drugs. He's a little too excited about gene manipulation, drug manipulation that possibly can grow massive muscles and all that stuff. I think we should step back and focus on our health, but let's look at what he's talking about, how new drugs...
Folks who are already really jacked, folks who aren't jacked at all have just shit genetics, real talk. It sucks to go to the gym and just claw for these minimal gains. This drug...
He should really speak for himself, because some people like going to the gym for multiple different reasons to improve themselves. Maybe he has some satire here, he's joking around, but I think he's a little too focused on his own physique and taking steroids to improve that, as opposed to what people should focus on. Yes, can drugs revolutionize the ability for you to stay leaner, put on more muscle without even going to the gym? Sure, let's dive into this.
And drugs like it could end that forever. Now you get gains. Now you come to the gym. Are androgenic side effects. They include all the typical things.
So he's talking about steroids here. So obviously people who take steroids have androgenic side effects. You know, facial hair, deeper voice, all these things. If women take it, obviously they're going to be more like a man, deeper voice, you know, more hair, all those things. There's a lot of side effects when it comes to that. But there's this new study that was done.
Reality. Because the brilliant minds at the Regeneron Pharmaceuticals Corporation have just such a drug, and they have published research about it. And I want to tell you all about this drug until I'm just salivating about it. In fact, it's not just one drug. It's a combo drug therapy. It's two drugs at the same time. Trevogrumab, good luck saying that one, and garetosmab, good luck saying that one also. Who makes these drug names up? I swear to God, Scott.
So right here, it's a myostatin inhibitor or antagonist. What a myostatin, if you ever look like a Belgian blue bull, or dogs with that are inhibiting myostatin, what they do is they just develop muscle at ridiculous amounts. There was some studies years ago about possibly gene manipulation to get myostatin inhibitors to, again, develop massive amount of musculature. Obviously, there's some other ones with the weight loss drugs that are in there that are happening too. These studies basically showed that with very minimal side effects, there was a massive amount of muscle gained and fat lost during these studies, which was really fascinating and really cool from a drug standpoint. Obviously, Regeneron and many other drug companies will be producing it if that's the case, and will be for mass market. Obviously, Regeneron, you might want to buy their stock, but you know there's going to be many competitors that are coming out as well. But this would be huge from a standpoint of a weight, or I don't even want to say a fitness industry trend, but from a standpoint of a weight loss or body composition trend, where people can have safer means to put on more muscle mass and lose fat. So again, he's going to dive into it in more detail.
There's a high probability in my mind that a gentleman named Trevor and a gentleman named Garrett co-discovered these drugs, and they just named it after themselves. Trevor and Garrett's drug, that's what I'm calling it. So trevogrumab is a myostatin antagonist. I'll get to what that is in just a little bit. And garetosmab is an activin A antagonist. Both drugs work by reducing the activity of myostatin and activin A. Myostatin and activin A, their predominant roles in skeletal muscle are to cap, to hold down, to reduce how much muscle you grow at any given time. And when these drugs uncork those caps, reduce the activity of myostatin and activin A, you get this radical unleashing of completely natural, in a sense, muscle growth that your body wants to do all the time, but it has these two substances it makes itself, these two proteins.
So that's essentially what the myostatin, these two drugs are doing. They're inhibiting myostatin. Let's dive into the actual drug from the study,
The kilograms.
or what this did.
It's easier to do teeny tiny because they experience rapid changes and it's easier to monitor them. And, you know, I guess they did put them to sleep and shove them into DEXA, which is quite impressive. So here's the deal. We have 4 groups of monkeys getting Semaglutide-only monkeys, myostatin, all these are not large animals. Fat and 5 the of muscle.
So basically, right here, the study with the monkeys without semaglutide lost 400 grams of body fat, which is about 15 grams of muscle loss. Monkeys with semaglutide lost about 700 grams of body fat, but lost about 100 grams of muscle with it. So obviously, the ones taking it had a much better fat loss, but they did lose muscle mass. But monkeys with the semaglutide and trevogrumab lost 1,300 grams of body fat and lost about 15 grams of muscle. So for the ones who lost minimal amounts of muscle, they almost had 3 times, or they had 3 times more body fat loss. So it's huge from that aspect, from losing body fat.
We're talking about the same losses as the monkeys who lost 400 grams of fat natty. Imagine a diet in which you lose the rough human equivalent, I'll get to those numbers in a sec, of 400 grams of fat. You lose monkeys that took the combo thing.
So here's with the combo therapy with the semaglutide, which again is weight loss, and they took the Trevo, which is the myostatin, lost about 1,400 grams of body fat and gained about 415 grams of muscle. That is insane. These monkeys are not lifting weights. They're not in the gym. They're literally just taking this drug. From a standpoint, obviously we use monkeys because they're smaller, they adapt to changes faster, all these things, whatever. So this is why we test those. But this is unreal, the results.
Therapy. They took semaglutide.
Which I can see why Mike is going bonkers, because I think he can't wait to get his hands on these drugs.
They took trevogrumab and they took garetosmab. And garetosmab is the activin A inhibitor. So now we got myostatin inhibitor in the works and activin A. Those monkeys lost 1,400-ish grams of fat, a little bit more, notably more, than the monkeys that were just on the myostatin inhibitor, than group 3, but not a ton more. Check this out. Those monkeys didn't lose 15 grams of fat. Sorry, good God. Those monkeys didn't lose 15 grams of muscle like the drug-free monkeys did, or like the myostatin monkeys did. They didn't lose 100 grams of muscle like the semaglutide monkeys did. They gained on a deficit, by the way. Monkeys don't resistance train, by the way. They gained 450 or so grams of muscle during the course of this diet, which was 20 weeks long, by the way. So we're going from dieting drug-free, you lose a little bit of muscle, almost not at all, but you don't lose a whole lot of fat, to dieting with semaglutide, we use a lot more fat, but a substantial amount of muscle. Nothing crazy, but that's annoying. To adding in the myostatin inhibitor, trevogrumab, and all of a sudden you are going to lose almost no muscle, just a little bit of muscle loss, but you are losing almost double the amount of fat that you did with the semaglutide, and close to just actually over 3 times the amount of fat that you did drug-free. And in the combo therapy, the triple therapy, semaglutide, trevogrumab, and garetosmab, we got the GLP-1, we've got the myostatin inhibitor, and we have got the activin A inhibitor, all combined into one vehicle, into one drug. You're losing even more fat than you did with just myostatin by a little bit. You're now losing about double the fat that you did with semaglutide alone, and close to 4 times the amount of fat you lost drug-free. What? But you are gaining the amount of muscle that is roughly equivalent to the amount of fat that you lost drug-free. This is insane.
Yeah, this is bonkers. Again, thanks for Mike breaking this down. He does a great job. He always does a great job with his videos and the science behind it. It is really insane on what he goes into. And if you can look at this, where he breaks this down, where on this, imagine you have identical 10 and you're both a decent bit of shape. Let's say you're both about 200 pounds and 20% body fat. Imagine your twin dieting drug free for 5 months and losing about 8 pounds of fat and losing less than a pound of muscle. He would be 192 pounds, or at the end, the diet is around 6. With the diet, he's about 16.5% body fat. So good results. Great job. Nothing to now imagine you dieting for the 5 months, but with the triple combo therapy, by extension of the study, you would lose about 28 pounds of fat while gaining 9 pounds of muscle. You would be at 181 pounds or so at the end of the diet at around 6.5% body fat. That's unreal. That's insane. Those results don't happen in the natural world unless you're on a lot of gear. So this would not even require people to work out to achieve these similar results, is what he's saying, because the monkeys didn't work out. Obviously they're active, whatever. They're probably in a cage. So little or minimal activity to get this type of results
would be wild. I mean, we're in a completely different era of body composition enhancement. You want to burn fat? You want to build muscle? Regeneron Pharmaceuticals has the...
Yeah, again, you might want to buy the stock. This is insane. Celebrities are going bonkers. It would be extremely unbelievable for this to actually work in humans. Obviously, we tested in monkeys. I'm sure that's the next step. If that's the case, body composition and people would be changing. We'd have more people look like Thor and celebrities out there. And arguably, it might be safer than taking steroids and other androgenic drugs or things out on the market.
Something is going to be a way better look and a huge boost to overall health.
So again, he's basically saying like, hey, this will be probably put more people in the gym, or if anything, make them healthier by taking these drugs. But who knows? We have only the monkey studies to go by. But it seems
better controlled and lower advanced AI. 500 definitely have that aesthetic flow. Like your arms are still going to be able to get as jacked as they like. Out and up the
it just shows like how much it may benefit people who are competing or want to change their body composition, how they can focus on different muscle groups, because with minimal work, monkeys saw that type of results. So if you started lifting different body parts, you could train essentially shoulders harder and they would grow even more because you're on these drugs with this myostatin and inhibitors and so forth that would benefit you. I do think we're getting to a point where it's a little bit of a science experiment. It is crazy. Obviously, modern technology is unreal. Who knows? We'll probably have a drug that will make us live forever as well. Obviously, it looks like we're getting drugs that will soon make us all look like superheroes, which then brings me to the point, well, would it be advantageous to take them? Obviously, more people will be desirable, look better, so there will all be more sexual selection because people essentially would be more, I don't want to use the word fit, but aesthetically appealing because they're on drugs. Now, does that carry over to their hard work and all those other things? I mean, I guess if you're all you care about for vanity reasons, to look pretty and all those things, then my guess is all then I guess it would work. I'm guessing because you're putting on muscle mass with myostatin, I don't know this, what would that do to your bone density? Obviously, if you did, resistance training, your bone density, but with the myostatin inhibitor and you put on more muscle mass, what would that do to tendons and ligaments when it's growing that fast? Those would be something, that'd be a great question for a follow-up with with Mike. But great video, way to break it down. Thanks, Mike. Always good. But again, who knows? How much are drugs going to change our life in the future? And are you for this, against it? Are you excited? Let me know in your comments below. Thanks, Mike. Take care, and great work on breaking down the study. Thank you. Bye.